What does rheumatoid arthritis pain feel like? Pain is subjective, and everybody's going to experience this a little bit differently, but I do think that there are three kind of distinct categories of RA pain that most of us will experience. Pain is always on a spectrum, so on the lower end of the spectrum, the pain is tolerable, meaning that you can still go to work, you can still live your life, it's just really annoying. All the way to the other end, which is what I would call intolerable pain, and that's really the unfathomable level of pain where your body can't really differentiate between your immune system attacking you and a wild animal like ripping you apart. So everything in your body is telling you you're about to die, and you can enter into this very panicked frenzy where you truly feel like you're about to die. And that's the kind of pain that should require medical intervention, but many of us will never really receive that, and most people living with RA never get consistent pain medication, if they ever get pain medication at all. So yeah, that's kind of the range we're dealing with. It's pretty extreme, and you can move up and down that spectrum within a day, even within a few minutes or hours. So the first category is a pain most people are familiar with, and that's the feeling of a broken bone, a major sprain. If you've ever slammed your finger in a door or stubbed the shit out of your toe, that's what a lot of RA flares feel like. In fact, a lot of folks, including myself, end up getting diagnosed with RA because you go to the ER over and over and over again thinking that you've broken a bone, because that's kind of exactly what it feels like. And obviously you get there and you realize there's no broken bone, and that leads to a diagnosis down the road. So that's what a lot of RA flares feel like. The second category is what this comment is talking about, which is the sensation that your joint is literally on fire, / it feels like the joint is sitting in a pool of acid. And I think we say acid because there's this very visceral, real sensation that the joint is being eaten away at. It almost feels like there's a bunch of bugs in there eating away at the joint. And so, yeah, it just feels like it's on fire and that the joint is disintegrating. And obviously you can't access the joint to give it any kind of relief. So the third category is, if you've ever learned about medieval torture, that's what I would call this category. It is the sensation that you are being ripped apart, that you are being crushed, that you are being, it almost feels like there's a tourniquet around your joints, and they just keeps getting tighter and tighter, and the tightness never stops, and there's pressure building up in the joint. It feels like your joint is being ground into dust, but there's also like a twisting. Going back to the medieval torture thing, if you can imagine somebody twisting your arm in order to pull it off of you, break it off of you, that's what it feels like. I cannot watch torture scenes in movies or TV shows anymore because I empathize with it too much. And you might think that's dramatic, but I know a lot of other people in here can probably agree. When I watch torture scenes, I feel like I know what that feels like. And I think a lot of people, one of the best descriptors of RA pain is it just feels like you're being tortured alive. So those are kind of the three categories, at least in my head, that make sense. And you can experience all three of those at the same time. You can experience different kinds of pain in different joints at the same time. And again, it's all on a spectrum. And you can move up and down that spectrum within a day, hours, minutes even. So let me know if you have other descriptions that you think are more helpful. Yeah.